Truck it on.
Doctors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Good evening. I am here, Andrea Eichmann with the People's Patriot Project. We are bringing you our weekly show and podcast called We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Tonight, again, we are brought to you by Semper Fi Design with Chris and Heather Nobles. Every week, we bring you a guest. Many times, we bring you a musician, and we share all the good and sometimes the not so good things happening in our world and the big old world. Today is January 1, 2023, and I just got to tell you, Happy New Year. I don't know what else to say. Oh, except, hang on. I do have a little say for you. Let me pull that up in a second here. Let's do this. Today, we do not have our regular scheduled guest and musician. However, you get to spend the night. We have a couple other exceptional guests. We've got some members and founders here with Mark Peterson. We've got Jonathan from Bourbon Battle Buddies and yours truly, Andrea Eichmann here. We're going to be enlisted in a session of Shoot the Poo, and that's the nice way of saying it, of course. We're going to just see where this takes us tonight. We will be expecting some interesting comments and suggestions. And if you have a hot topic or a burning question, and you see where I'm going there, because I'm going to talk about some firefighters later, but please throw your questions or comments into the comment section, and we're going to work through it together tonight. We can start our new year out right because we're going to do it together. Before we get started with all of this, please take off your hats, stand if you can, and cover your hearts and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
which it stands,
under God,
one nation,
indivisible.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
Liberty and
for all.
justice for all. We did it. We did it. Sorry,
There's a little delay. What happened there? What happened?
I don't know. It looks like there's
that
a delay.
That was weird. Okay, so maybe we weren't quite ready. Here's what I wanted to share with you. I got a little Peterson. Hang on. Which one of us is dragon, Jonathan?
I'm going to leave real quick.
Y'all both look good on my end.
Hi, Derek. Derek is here. Happy New Year to you as well. While Peterson's figuring out what's going on, it looked like a drag. Maybe it's the connection between he and I. Drags and legs. I like to consider myself fairly Irish. So I have a little New Year's blessing for you. May the Lord keep you in the palm of his hand and never close to his fist too tight. Never close his fist too tight. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. May the best day of your past be the worst day of your future. Here's to a long life and a merry new year. Cheers. I will toast you with
my
better? Water. Seems to be better.
I don't know what the deal was. What the heck? We got a lot of people coming in here. Exciting, man. This is awesome. Happy New Year, everyone. I wish we had a little bit of more festive. I did some quick searches here, and I don't know. I love having Jonathan here, and we'll get Jonathan up to speed about how chaotic things get when we're trying to get things set up, ready to go, and ready to blow this thing up. And when we have our guests, it seems a lot more organized than when we're going from the hip sometimes. But real quick, we have a lot of AKA Facebook users. Remember, if you're in here, I just did post a link that if you want to be recognized as being here, if you are, I also found this out, if you're going or coming in from the group, the Facebook group, it's not going to recognize you as a person unless you do the link. And so I put the link in there. That's the little happy, maybe I didn't. Oh my goodness. I'm already losing my mind. Yeah, it is. It's right there. The StreamYard.com/Facebook. If you click that, you don't get any mail. You don't get anything extra. It just lets the two platforms read each other, and we can see everyone. Happy New Year, Terry Daniels, brother. It is always good to have you here. It almost seems like we missed you a little bit. Not a little bit, because we didn't have our Christmas evening show. We are all family, and that's something I spent a lot of time reflecting on, was where's our family? And we do believe that this is family. We're going to have a lot of conversations in regards to what that means sometimes. And, we'll just, I see some moments that, because tis the season, maybe, I might get fired up a little bit here and share my heart feelings. I got some of them. And that always gets weird, but whatever.
You guys, please hold on to your seats.
You want to rattle the news off right away, Miss Eichmann?
Well, here's what I did. Because it's New Year, you know what? Happy New Year. That's the biggest news. We're going to say this again later, but let me just tell you that next week's guests are Joey McNutt and Cody Howell. And I quick typed up the suicide. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have this on all our sheets. Suicide hotline, you guys. 1-800-273-8255. And that's great, even though a lot of us probably wouldn't call that number, and hopefully we would get an answer right away if we did. There is that this text, right?
Well, there's also 988. If you dial 988 now, you don't have to go through the whole suicide hotline. 988 will get you straight to the suicide hotline as well. But there is also the live. I'm sorry, I'm kind of taking your thunder, and I apologize for that. I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead with what you were saying with your text.
I don't know what. Anyway, so there we go. I think we got them all in there because it's the holidays, and holidays are what they are, and it's. Oops, sorry, I put text. I meant to put dial 988. My bad, my bad, my bad. I apologize. I'll change it. I'll fix it. And then for all of you out there who prefer YouTube and would like to see us get to a point where we can make amazing access to you through YouTube, go ahead and click that link, or at least go to our YouTube, like us. I mean, subscribe, like what you see. We see more and more every week, so I want to thank you all for that. I'm gonna go on. So, the news this week, I decided because there's not a lot of veteran stuff that happens. There is a lot of military stuff going on, but I don't want to step on the political lines at the moment. We'll see how that goes later. I'm sure a lot of you are even more updated than I am, even though I try to keep up with the news. But so I'm going to talk about some first responders, and I'll start out with a police incident in New York City at the big New Year's Eve celebration. A man with a machete attacked 3 New York City police officers. 2 of them were injured in the head during this New Year's Eve celebration. The whole little scuffle took place outside the very stringent security barrier that is set up around the highest concentration of people, with check gates where they can get in after they are checked, wanted, and shoot, that thing they have to go through. Metal detector, sorry. Then the police ended up shooting this man in the shoulder. The gunshots scared people. They scattered and skittered. Both officers were struck in the head. One, he's bad, but they're both expected to recover. One of the wounded officers just graduated from a police academy on Friday. The mayor did go speak to one of those injured officers. He reported he was in good spirits, saying, and this is clutch for us, this is how we operate, and this is not an excuse for the traumas that they had to go through. But this young man understood that his role saved lives of New Yorkers on the New Year's Eve. The 19-year-old attacker, he was shot in the shoulder and is also expected to be okay. So there we go. In 2021, and this is mostly firefighters, but first responders of any sort. In 2021, 65 emergency responders were struck and killed while assisting others on the roadway, most times interstate or highway. An unknown number of others were injured. The ERSI, the Emergency Responder Safety Institute's new series of public service announcements, they're going to be putting these out, so keep an eye out for these. It will be called In Our Boots. And their reason for putting these PSAs out is to challenge the public to stand in the boots of emergency responders exposed to high-speed traffic every day as they are busy saving lives on the roadway. Traffic whizzes by inches away. An emergency responders will describe what it's like to be struck by traffic at a roadway incident. Another one spoke about how he lost his father to the same thing. Give people a break. What is so important that you have to get to that you can't just slow down and make sure? I mean, I think 45 is like construction, right? At least slow down that much. When you see an officer or a first responder, a lot of these were, like I said, firemen, firefighters, responding to various things on the roadside. If you see the flashing lights, just flip and slow down. It's not hard. It's not hard. So that was my plea and my plight today and this week. And so spread that word for me, will you please?
I am doing everything within my power to bite my tongue during that conversation, having been on scenes such as that. And then also there seems to be this new narrative, and this is where I'm going to get in trouble, and I'll own it. There seems to be this new narrative where our media is enjoying pulling our police officers through the mud as they're being charged, tried, and blasted for doing their jobs. And it's making me sick, man. I get it. We've got people that are doing things that they're messing up, but there's no need for it. I mean, gosh, how many of us would enjoy being under the scrutiny of the media or anyone else for when we mess up and when we screw up? And sadly and unfortunately, I was sharing some data, and I don't know where I got the data before. The data I had before was 600 million first responder calls a year. Now, I just recently found another number, and I can't find the 600 million, so we got to throw that one out. But 200 million first responder calls a year. That's the data I'm finding now. And we don't get to hear about all the good things that are happening. We hear about the splashings of the negative, the splashings of people's rights not being honored. I don't know, man. Here's the deal. It's not hard. We keep losing Andrea back and forth. I don't know who's doing it. I'm not. My hands are clear back here. That might be Jonathan. Are you messing with the board?
No. No, I wouldn't push buttons. I'd mess this all up.
We need to find it. And I'm going to let you know, I've been inspired by this man who's sitting to, I don't know, my real life right, my real life south, about 2,000 miles, just in some of his messages. And just, I'm going to be real honest, Jonathan, having you, I know you're speaking in terms of Bourbon Battle Buddies, but just the fact that you're in our network and that I get to listen to you and you did a post this week about tearing down. Now, this is my confession. I wasn't directly called to the carpet, but through Miss Eichmann was called to the carpet for tearing someone down this year during an event we had. And unfortunately, that I got hot mic'd. My fault. I'll take ownership of it. I probably used some language I probably shouldn't have been using. But the person that turned this these comments in thought I was talking about them, and I was talking about someone else, which I shouldn't have been talking about someone else either. But and so we've lost this person in our network because of it, and that's okay. It's not okay, but there's nothing we can do about it. And I'm not going to have a conversation with someone about something that I wasn't involved in and didn't do directly to them. And we'll figure those pieces out. Maybe not. But Jonathan just recently had a message about building people up and not tearing people down. And that's generally our message. And I say that as I'm having a moment of clarity and sharing and confessing that I don't always get it right. And that was one of his TikTok posts. Jonathan, do you remember the exact words, or do you want to paraphrase or share? Or
I can get it pretty close, I suppose. It was three things that and most of the time when I put something out there, I'm talking generally, but I'm really talking to myself, So there's three things that I wanted to work on getting right in 2023. And number one was forgive. Forgive yourself for being the person that you had to be to get through what you had to get through. Forgive people that have done wrong by you. I think the way I worded it was, if we've all got that nemesis, or I'd say all of us, most of us have had a nemesis, someone that we just don't get along with. And, if that person walked up to you and apologized and said, man, I haven't done right by you. I just want to say I'm sorry. Forgive on the spot, man. Don't ask questions. Forgiveness is free. So just number one was forgiveness, and number two, which I think is probably the one you're talking about, was love, man, love each other. We all got a very limited amount of time on this earth, so let's not spend it tearing people down or destroying what someone else has done to build their life. I mean, you don't know the struggles that they've been through. Where they're at now may not be, I don't think any of us are where we want to be. You know what I mean? So everybody's a work in progress. So let's not destroy people. Let's build people up. We should all want to see our brothers and sisters have the most success in life. So that was part two, which I think you were referring to earlier. And the third was just to give. You know, if you've been blessed with more than you deserve or more than you need, and you find someone else in need, give. You know, and I think I worded it more like give. Maybe like items or, you know, whatever, but somebody had brought it to my attention that you could give a hug, a handshake, a kind word, you know. Time is something that I think people value the most when you give it to them.
I want to interrupt because we have one of our listeners, Mr. Daniels. You never have to worry about being selfish in this group or in our network. And if there is ever a need, even if it is just for stopping, thinking, recognizing, you're asking a small thing of us, brother. And I've never done this before on our show. And it's not something that I'm going to do it. I mean, it's our show. We get to do whatever the hell we want to. And that's the people that are on here right now. If I ask you to take time and think about Terry Daniels and his family right now, who are going through a little bit of a struggle. Terry, we are with you. And let us know those things. And I mean, I know you're probably like me and don't want to burden people in our country and in our world and in our lives and stuff. But I am not against receiving messages like that. And if ever you need a moment to speak or talk or share or any of that, we are here for you, brother. That's what makes this different than all the other things we give open access to our network, to our people, and all that. And I am sorry for your. I gotta say, we're with you. I gotta back that up. I say with you all the time because I don't know what the circumstances are, and I can tell you right now, the loss of both my father and my mother were a blessing. I know that sounds absolutely terrible saying it that way, but when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and it literally just took weeks and she was gone. My father was in a car accident and the situation. I don't want to make this about me. I'm giving an explanation of why I say with you rather than sorry for your loss. But some people need to have that closure piece. And this family, Mr. Daniels, is with you. And I will say that right now. And that's tough. And I don't know who all of our users are, unfortunately. I am always in favor of getting together soon. So whoever our user is, thank you. And again, our family is with you, Mr. Daniels. So thank you. Thank you for asking. It's not selfish. That's exactly what this is for, and this is what this is about. And that goes back to Jonathan's statement: is we need to to lift our brothers and sisters up. It's moments like this that I know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. It's moments like this. So let us know if there's anything else we can be doing and helping with, Terry. So let's go back, because the thing that got me going was this whole what are we doing for our first responders? Did anyone stop for a moment while they're out having a great time and bringing in the new year? Did anyone take time to realize that we had both our enlisted and our first responders out there, making sure we had those opportunities to be there? It breaks my heart to hear the story about New York. And here's the deal, folks, and I'm going to say this, and be prepared, be ready. It's not going away. We have pulled the reins so hard back on our police officers. Our seasoned police officers want out. They're moving to different places where they don't have to deal with the larger crowds. And sadly, our youngest, inexperienced officers are put in situations like this, and it is heartbreaking. Be ready. There's going to be a time when it's going to start coming in our back doors. And I'm not going to be this conspiracy theorist guy. I'm not going to do that, but it's already knocking on our doors. So be ready. Be ready. If you're going to make statements like defund the police and create, not going to deny there needs to be new trainings, not going to deny that we need to find an answer and solution to the mental health crisis we have in our country. I didn't realize I was going to get so fired up about this and this stuff. But what I'd like to do real quick is reset me and my brain. I'd like to put up Dave Bray's song, Last Call. And that's actually kind of a sad song for kind of this experience, but it's one of the first responder calls we have, or first responder songs that we have that gives homage to our first responders. Andrea, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Nope. I was just agreeing with you.
This is Dave Bray, Last Call.
Let me get a unit to FDR 112. Shots fired.
That's all. And cut down.
Man down, I'm bleeding out. There's no time, so please hear me out. These are the last few words that I'd like to say to you all. This is my last call. Tell my wife I love her and that I won't be home tonight. Thank her for those long, hard years that we tried to get it right. Tell her I'll be waiting after she makes it through it all. This is my last call. But ask her to forgive me. Tell her I'm sorry. That I can't be the man that she's gonna be. Tell her I'll be waiting where the winter meets the fall. This is my last call. And tell my children that I love them. Oh yeah, that daddy always loved them so. And tell them to hold their mother tight and to never let her go. my last call. Tell him to fight for me. Do what's right for me. Choose the light for me. But don't ever forget me. Tell them I'll always be watching, and I'll be there when they fall. This is my last call. For those who serve beside me and who held that thin blue line, stand tall, stand strong, and hold your head up high. I'm sorry I let you down today, but please know I gave my all. This is my last call. So raise a glass for me. And kick some ass for me. Ring a bell for me. Send them straight to hell for me. I'd like to think I saved a few good lives, but I couldn't save them all. This is my last call. Yeah, I'd like to think I saved a few good lives, but I couldn't save my own. This is my last call.
All units, stand by for a special announcement. Emergency traffic only. 11:45. Prince William calling. 11:45. This is the final call for 11:45. Officer Ashley Gwendon. End of watch, February 27th, 2016. May you rest in peace.
I'm not sure why we do that to ourselves. To all those on the front lines, thank you. To all those that get to lay their heads on the pillows of freedom daily, I hope you take a moment daily to remember those people that are out there sacrificing their blood, sweat, tears, limbs, and lives to make sure that we get the chance to sit and have conversations like this, that we get to chase that red, white, and blue, for us to sit and have a bourbon with a brother and or sister.
Man, tremendous song.
Powerful. Go ahead, Andrea.
Nope, I was just trying to find when he was on our show. Isn't that crazy? Stop calling me out. I'm a thinker. I'm just thinking.
Yeah. I goal for 2023.
Well, one of us had to be Andrea.
Yes.
Make Eichmann speak more. And if you know her behind the scenes of the show, that sounds crazy, but get Andrea to speak more during the show is a goal for this year. So
you have to maybe give me just a heads up sometime. Don't just be hanging, especially after that song.
Yeah, I know, right? I
Yeah.
got to keep our stuff together so we can send the message and share it out. I don't mean to put a somber song on here, or I mean that's I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate every day, but until this stuff stops, we gotta. Me and Andrea and sorry, Jonathan wasn't in the conversation then, and Jonathan's going to be involved in a lot more conversations here in the near future. Just because his level of commitment and what he wants and planning on doing, I hope. But we started a conversation 2 years ago about how it's time to stop trying to create the avenue of recognition, but rather it's time to be boots on the ground, making a difference, and stop talking about it. But that's why we also have the show. We get to talk about it, but during the week, we get to get boots on the ground. So much so, 2022 Fishing for Life event, Shadow Foundation, Legacy Hunt, Legacy Heroes Hunt, Ride to Remember event near Detroit Lakes, Sunridge Farm event, Canterbury Downs event, Nashville Takeover event, Chili Cook-Off event, an event with Bent Brewstillery and
76 Rum.
76 Rum. I actually even thought of another event while I was running through that stuff real quick. Oh, our backwaters angling sturgeon fish event. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I mean, it's 12 events in 2022, and that doesn't even. Oh, did I say Canterbury Down? I didn't say Canterbury Down event.
And then did you say Summit Ridge Farms?
Yep. I mean, and we can sit here and tell you the amount of lives we have impacted and the amount of people and the number of people. And it's when I sit back in the last week of last week of December and I'm like, well, what did we get done? And then we put the list down on the paper and have the conversation because we're focusing on the people we had to turn away. Yep. We turned about 20 people away this year.
Yeah.
I want to make it clear. We can't fix everything because we don't have the resources to fix everything. How do we do that? We need you. We need we the people. We need all men on deck, all women on deck to be ready to be part of this mission. The mission that John talks about in his daily conversations. The things we talk about on Debrief, the things we talk about on We Got Your 6 at 6. The other 180 organizations that we are affiliated with, not to mention the influencers through musicians, TikTokers, YouTubers. I mean, the network is amazing and we love it and we're going to keep going. And I need moments like this only because I get the moments as like, what did we get done? And I honestly don't know what more we can get done, Andrea. I mean, I know there's more.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
No, that's exactly right. But as Peterson and I have discussed, and we're so thankful that John is here because sometimes it ends up being we have lots of helpers, but the brunt of the chasing around, I guess, and that's a horrible phrase, but that ends up on our plates, and sometimes we have organizational help, and sometimes we have a gopher sort of help, like do this, do that, and sometimes it's just us honestly chasing around, and so we're just always looking for that kind of help, you guys. Like, if that's what you like, I got to tell you, I could be a career gopher because I'm really good at it. And sometimes I even come up with the ideas before you think of it. I could be an amazing, if I could get paid to be the gopher, I could be the gopher. We always have Tammy taking notes for us, and Tammy being
I was just going to say,
I know, and supporting us and coming up with some ideas. And she was going to travel with us, and then there's other circumstances that come up. Lee is always there when we need, we call him and say we need something, and boom, there he is. Chris and Heather, Nobles, some of you are far away. And so when we have to do like the hands-on, like load Peterson's truck into my Jeep before we leave, that kind of stuff, like, or go shopping, whatever, chase around the cities for deliveries and rides and such. We always can use more help like that. And we got some other, we have quite a few other people that are on our list. I just want to say Kelly Mello is always there to listen and help toss ideas around and come up with new things. Charity has a nonprofit that she runs and still helps me a lot. And so, we could use so much more help physically, like in-person kind of help. And those of you that live farther away, oh my gosh, you're here because we need your support. Like you're the shoulders, you're the sounding boards, the support. And I know because we now, in addition to John, there's a couple mics out there from Texas and Oklahoma that want to do the next Nashville event with us. That's the physical boots on the ground kind of help that we love, we enjoy, we need more of. That doesn't cost a thing. I know it costs you your time, but for me, my time is my talent usually. So yeah, there you go.
Are you ready for this ride, Jonathan?
Couldn't be more ready. I'm excited.
What is one thing you learned about yourself or learned in the year 2022?
Myself, I think I sell myself short. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I really do. I think I spend my time looking at everything from a perspective of what if this goes wrong and what if this goes wrong and how I can fix it before it goes wrong, instead of just doing some, and a lot of times I've spent so much time. I had a conversation a long time ago with somebody who was my boss, and I probably shouldn't have had the conversation, and I don't know why he didn't fire me afterwards, but he came in this meeting in the morning, and he told us all, this, that, and the other, and we had problems with somebody, and he just kept, basically at this point the whole crew was telling him in the meeting in front of the person, like, this person's a problem. And he's like, well, we're going to look into it. And I told him, I was like, hey, if we come to work and we talk about working and don't actually do anything, I said, we'll lose our jobs. I said, we're tired of talking about what needs to be done. You need to do something. And I was probably 19 years old at the time, a little bit more cocky than I should have been.
Well, you were one of the smart ones.
The advice that I gave that man 20 years ago, I could sure look in the mirror and tell myself right now.
Amen. What about you, Eichmann?
The biggest lesson?
Something you learned.
Yeah. I've said this to myself before, but I think it hurts me because I feel like it's selfish, but sometimes I have to say more. I have to say no more times. And that's to the things outside of family, really. And this, I guess part of that is I have lined up those things that are of utmost importance to me recently, and I need to put in perspective and stick to the priorities. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. So sometimes the shiny, glittery objects just fling me over a different direction. And so, yeah, staying on path might be a real good idea.
I don't know if you guys get to know. I know this woman in real life. I mean, and just to hear her say some of these things it's endearing, and it's a growth. And I know it's not always easy working with me. I don't know that the piece that I learned is happy go learn, but I was on the conversation with Mr. Adam Bird this weekend. I know he won't have a problem with me sharing this. And Miss Eichmann was on the same conversation. And at one point, Adam made the statement. He goes, "You guys are doing things that I'm jealous that I'm not a part of." And the craziness is we've invited Adam to be part of everything. But again, it helped me. And the reason why that statement helped me is we have so many people come into our organization and want to be part of our organization and then walk away from our organization. Then we see them do other things outside. And I have to calm my grits a little bit, only to the fact that the mission continues whether we're involved or not. And veterans and first responders are being helped. And me and Andrea do end up having these conversations a lot of times. Did you see what organization's doing this? Isn't that directly related to what we were doing? Yep. We invested a lot of time and effort into those people. And so when I was preparing for this, I was like, there are givers and there's takers. And that really frustrates me. But I need to define that for myself, not for other people. This doesn't come out as a shiny polished turd for me as it comes out the back. And I know that's a terrible visual at this point, but I feel slighted by people, and I need to get over that. I need to get over that and realize our mission is going to continue to move forward. It's going to continue to help. Will there be on occasion some unfortunate friendly fire? There is. And again, this is why I'm excited why Jonathan's here. Because I like the demeanor he carries and the fact that he slows it down. Here's a great conversation. It was stupid. He was online this week with Tim Newton doing a little virtual happy hour piece, and I was sitting there watching it, interacting, this and that, and after he invited me on, which I was elated to be part of, just to have again continue conversation, share the vision, and we started talking about how people portray Southern Louisiana, and we were talking about some personalities that are out there now. Because no one's gonna slight me for this, I'll just bring out the Bobby Boucher, the water boy guy, where this guy is running around being water boy, and all the characters are making Southern Louisiana look like not the people that they are. And I'm like, my gosh, Jonathan, thank you for sharing that, because there's other personalities out there that do it too. Swamp people, you name it. And I understand there's also a culture down there in that world, but it just ultimately opened my eyes to realize, you know what? Stay my lane. It's not my piece to judge. People got their own stuff. We've got Mr. Daniels coming on, suffering and struggling in his own world, and wants to reach out and feels sorry for being selfish. And no way. Look how amazing this is. Look how Mark Peterson gets, it's not about me, but I get to have a deeper thinking conversation about being a better person. And what does that have to do with being a veteran or first responder? Not a damn thing, to be honest with you. But that's where we're at. We have a message, we have a vehicle, we have a passion, and we're kicking the crap out of it. And I know I bounced all over the place with that conversation to get out the point that there's givers and there's takers, but how amazing is this? How amazing is that we can lift a guy up who's on the other side of the country who's struggling right now. There's my selfishness again. Here I go. I feel good about the things that we do. Is there anything wrong with that? Waking up and feeling good about the things you do?
Absolutely not.
There's your thing for tomorrow if you want to use it, John. Let's wake up every day and feel good about the things that we do rather than questioning the stuff that we've done. Let's do that. Let's change that. Let's put a positive spin and a positive message in everything that we do. All right. Wow.
And I'll go back a few minutes because, I mean, you did ramble for quite a few minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
But go back to the beginning of that when you said, you feel slighted sometimes because the givers and the takers, right? And I think it's important for me, and I'm starting to realize I actually had this thought today. You can't expect someone to have the same passion for your mission and your goal as you have. You know what I mean? And you're in a unique position. I mean, I guess we all are, but we're in a unique position that what we're doing can actually make a difference for people. And if they come and they take, and then they go and they make a difference for somebody else, aren't we all we're all still helping, right? You're still accomplishing your goal by lifting someone else up, even if they don't stick around. It's that piece where people are in your time or people aren't always in your life to stay. Sometimes they just pass through, as long as you leave them with something positive,
And that's a very good, I tried to put it that way earlier. I don't know, we had this conversation a few times even in the last month. And I mean, it is a compliment when someone takes what you've given them and does something positive with it. It's a compliment to what you've done, and you should feel good about that and not feel like you missed anything. You didn't miss out on anything. I just had this conversation with my parents this morning. Weirdly, my mom has noticed all of the big guys, so to say, and there's not a lot of monetary giving, I don't think, right now. And so they've donated to quite a few different places, and now those places are almost badgering, and you see the wounded, starving animals, and you see the big veterans groups, and they're all asking for tons of money right now. And where do you choose? I mean, look at all the good things they do. And then my mom just stopped a minute and she's like, there's thousands and thousands of little 501c3s out there, and probably a healthy percentage are looking out for veterans. And then there's you guys, and there you are. And I'm like, yes. I said, so Adam asked a great question the other day. He said, what are the 3 things you do best? And I always struggle with those when I'm not prepared, but this right here, we communicate. I think we communicate and we reach out and we give the platform for others to do that. This weekly show, I think, is one of our best positions. We do a million other things, but we do this and we do it well. And I might add, we even argue about how we'll do it. So that's how it works. And we have a great system, and it's been a great ride. And then kind of secondary to that is the whole networking process. And again, my mom said, well, what does that do to help? And I'm like, we don't spend a dime. I mean, if you want to say we make our cell phone payments and we have electricity and whatever, and we pay for StreamYard, but we have this reach in almost 50 states and a few other countries where somebody reaches out and says, hey, I got someone in Michigan. I got someone in South Carolina. I got someone in California who's really struggling right now. Do you have someone? Can you reach out to them? And we can try, but depending on the level of need, we know people in those places that are much closer, who, if their need is way more immediate than what we can do, we reach out and they help. A good example, and they're taking a break right now, was help me, Peterson, Storm Riders. A great example was Storm Riders. They asked us to help others, and we asked them to help others, and a lot of things got accomplished that way. But as we know, it's hard to keep your group together when they're spread out across the country, and that they're just taking a break and figuring things out. And I have no doubt they'll be back in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not even the same name. And the third thing, you guys, that we do, I mean, there's so many things, but I think the third thing we can say, which may quickly become at the top of the list, is we try to heal with what we've got. And a big piece of what we've got is music, and people who make that music, who have experienced what those who come to us have gone through. And this will quickly become our number one thing, and it will grow. And I had to think about it all day to see what my number 3 was. And it's a gift. And I read more and more about healing properties of music. And it's international. It's multicultural. It's unifying. You don't need to understand the words sometimes. We have videos now that I think we're going to see. Well, I don't know, but I'm just going to throw out, for example, Chris Turner's got a million fun videos and some serious videos, right? He can do a lot with his videos. But there's one by Brandon Mills, and I don't think it's the one we're watching tonight. But he can put so much emotion and story into these videos that as a non-military person, I can feel what he's been through, and I can see the path that he took to his healing. And I mean, it's an amazing thing. And with technology, it makes it easy for us to help in that way as well. So there's our 3. That's what I think.
Andrea's 3, and it was good. Well, and I'd actually changed my mind about music, but but now that you threw it out there, we'll throw Brandon Mills. Keep your thoughts together, Jonathan. We got Brandon Mills, Front Lines.
It's a song I wrote called Front Lines. I'd just gotten back from Iraq, and I was thinking about the founding fathers that had to fight a war in their backyard, and then had to build a country immediately after. There's fire on the mountain, so run, boys, run. Grab your guns, be the ones to protect your daughters and your sons. Time is right, save your wives while there's still light. If we don't move now, we might not make it out alive. If come to rob, if come to destroy, well, do your job, never let them take away anything that we love. So here we go, enjoy the show. There's peace among this altar, like a lamb among the slaughter. We might live, and we might die, but I'm running towards the front line. I'm running towards the new life. We made it out alive, did we survive? Battle axe in hands and war scars in our minds. Before I die, remind me to say exactly what happened those fateful bloody days. Oh. slaughter. We might live, we might die. We're running towards the front lines. We're running towards a new life.
There's his intro actually helped me in the fact that he talked about our forefathers and how the foundation and the pieces that they put into play and where we're at right now, and that they had to do he created the song to share, once the battle's over. Well, we're in the middle of the biggest battle of our lives right now, and that's to save our brothers and sisters, and the ones that have committed and given us the opportunities again to have these conversations. Again, everyone gets the freedom to go to the grocery store they want to go to the church they want to go and celebrate that they want to, and that all came at a cost, and we need to get back. The fact that the story Andrea shared about the police officers at Times Square, we got to get it back, guys. We got to get it back. We got to grow this thing. We never have the political conversation. We got to grow this thing from the center and go out and not worry about the extreme left and extreme right. That's the pieces we got to do it, man. We've got to step forward. Don't want to get too deep into that conversation, but
no, exactly.
Another.
So maybe we'll do 4 songs tonight, regardless. We're already into our hour. What's something you want to accomplish? As an individual, what's something you want to accomplish this year?
I say as an individual, but also as Bourbon Battle Buddies, I want to give back on a large scale. I don't want to, I want to give back not to the part where I don't really know how to say it, but my idea would be to give back on a mass, like to a group of people or something. It was in my head and it ain't coming out my mouth. Rather than waiting on a phone call or hoping somebody comes across it and can help out, I want to get to the point where I can have an outreach and reach people who need help. And I know that's kind of what this is, but I want it to be, I want to help more. That's pretty just everything else. And I talk about this a lot, man, but I've reached a point in my life where pretty much everything I have going on is wonderful. I mean, my kid's growing and I'm loving seeing him grow. I've been married to my wife for longer than she'd like to be married to me. But no, we've been together for 10 years. Life is at this point right now as good as I can ever remember it being for me. And I don't want to just sit here and say, oh, life is great. I want to find a way to help other people get to that point or to give some of the blessings that I've been given to someone else. That's where I'm at.
Your turn, Aikman.
That is good stuff. What?
Your turn.
Okay, state the question again.
What's something you want to get accomplished this year?
Okay, so I was already actually thinking the same. Where do I start? So, and thank you for speaking as Bourbon Battle Buddies, because as WeP3, I want more people involved. My goal is to, so that sounds like creating the awareness, and it's not about the awareness. I want people to see what we do and like what we do and want to be a part of it. So therefore, getting more people involved and more deeply involved is a big piece. And I did think about this. I went to church this morning, and Father Dave had a great sermon. And I've already thought about this, but he, instead of a monthly, he was doing a coffee quarterly. My goal is to have my kids in the same place at the same time a couple times a year. And so Austin's too far away. He's out there in Bismarck, but I would like to quarterly have my whole family here on a Sunday morning for church if they can make it, and brunch and whatever else comes out. So personal and WeP3.
Love it. We got a guest on. You want to share who our guest is there, Jonathan?
Oh, look at that cute guest you got there. Oh,
There we go. This is Landon. He's life, man. He's me reincarnated in.
He doesn't like Fortnite, does he?
Yeah, the little bit I let him play it, he likes it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is the star of my favorite TikTok video right here.
That's awesome.
I remember it. Derek Iozio. Well, that's not the one I wanted. He wants me to do more outreach. We've got a lot of Facebook users tonight, so I'm sorting through that. We got another, get more organizations connected and all moving in the same direction.
Yep, that's a great one. That's like our goal every moment.
Derek dropped he's calling it Iron Dome, but the graphene dome concept, we're still working on that. It'd be awesome to combine Andrea's idea of more people involved. So, I mean, I don't see myself ever not being involved with the podcast / live stream, but if I'm not involved with it or less involved with it, I can focus more on some of this other stuff. We have a major event that we'd like to do this year, bigger than anything we've ever done before. It's taken a little slower than what we'd like it to take, but maybe we just recently had the conversation we needed to have to get that rolling. The great piece, and again, because I get to talk about this, and now I feel like there's validity in the public acknowledgement and or having the public conversation about who we are and what we do, and the fact that we're not blowing smoke, people. We're working, and we're not doing enough. We are losing 17, and they're saying the numbers. I even heard it on the news last night, up to 100 people a day. We have lost, I can't remember. It's on my new sheet. I just put it out there. Over 6,000 veterans a year for the last 20 years. And that's not even taking into account the first responders. They can't take the data for the first responders because they don't self-report. They go and they do their thing, and they either get it done or don't get it done. Miss Tammy, our amazing support behind the scenes,
I
doesn't
knew
get
that
enough recognition.
I knew that
Never
was
gets
coming.
enough recognition. She's almost there. She's been helping her people her entire life, and she just still wants to keep helping people. And so, bless her. I want to. Me and Andrea, there's so many things going on. We've got to find a different way of communicate. I mean, like plant chips into each other's brains so we don't have to
text. No more messages and texting and emails.
The amount of time we spend talking and dialoguing about and with other people in our network and just putting it all in one place. And it like has to find a place. And we use our platforms with Google to communicate immense amount of information. A, we don't have time to go back and review it. B, there's so much stuff going on that we can't always get it on a place where everyone else can see it. And this is a good problem to have. And I'm confident it's Derek saying, getting more organizations connected. We're going to connect. We're going to connect and keep moving forward. And hopefully we've got a plan to showcase everything that's being done so that veterans and first responders can find a place to get what they need on the social, emotional, on the mental aspects of it. So here's our next song, and I have to play it. Andrew. It was one of my favorite songs for a long time, and there's so much background if you think about it, but I gotta play CJ Garden's Ferris Wheel. Gotta play it. And then there's one last song I want to end on, and because I think we're all trying to get and all want to be in the same boat so we can work together. But that's a little flash of what we're working on. And this is CJ Garden, Ferris Wheel.
I walked the high line, I've juggled a few times, played sold out shows around. I keep entertaining and never complaining about the circus that is this town. I'm caught on a Ferris wheel, going round and round. Everything that I see just goes up and down. Bright lights are shining, these crowds gather round. Oh, am I the ringmaster or just another clown? I hear the laughter I'm put on display. I'm another freak in the show. One day the marquee will read my name. Till then, it's a neon glow. I'm caught on the Ferris wheel, going round and round. Everything that I see just goes up and down. Bright lights shining, the crowd gather round. Oh, am I the ringmaster or just another clown? Ferris wheel,
Am I the ringmaster or just another clown? That's there's more life messages in there, but it's don't answer that question, Eichmann.
Just keep going round and round. Go ahead, shoot at me. Shoot at me. Till the shiny things, flashing lights, the claw machines. No, I love that song. I haven't heard from CJ in quite a while, but I think you've kept up with him a little bit.
Talked to him a couple weeks ago. I don't know, it's more than a couple weeks, but just trying to get everyone kind of to connect and be on the same page or get in the same boat, so to speak,
So to speak. Getting in the same
I think
boat.
there's a lot of organizations. I think there's a lot of people who are working for the benefit of the good, but we're doing the same things. And so, not that I'm trying to ringmaster it, but I think if we were all kind of working together, taking the niches that our skill set allows us to facilitate, and let the music industry take care of the music industry, let the boots on the ground people take care of the boots on the ground stuff, the organizers and the admin. I mean, again, I don't want to create a hierarchy because that's not it at all, but I do think that amongst all of us, some of us are double dipping, so to speak, and I mean, we could be a lot more focused and we could get a lot more done, in my opinion. But who am I? Who am I to tell other people what to do? I'm nobody. So this is just, we created what we created, and if you want to be part of it, that's why we're here. We are the beacon of hope and opportunity, and we are the opportunity to serve those people who want to serve after service and or those who never had the chance to serve. We have opportunities. We literally can plug in every facet of opportunity. We need cooks. There's things that we want to do. We got some exciting news coming up with Cruisin' Kitchens. That's very exciting stuff. Super exciting stuff. They've asked to have a meeting with me to talk about some future opportunities. And I don't want. I'm going to be vague, but at the same time, if you went and watched and looked at what Cruisin' Kitchens does, you'll be able to see some of the things that we're working on. But we are here to help and give hope, and we are the beacon, and we want people to see the beacon. And Andrea's right. What do we do really well with is the music stuff. We've hundreds and hundreds of conversations a week about who we're bringing on to have conversations to play, who and how we are going to promote more. Again, the songs we played tonight is just the tip of the iceberg of the talent that is out there. And I think when you put good talent with good talent, you get better talent, in my opinion. And they can learn and teach and grow together and come up with a better quality material. Not that I will stack anyone up in our network against anything that's out there mainstream. Terry, thank you, brother. We are with you. Keep fighting the battle, brother. And if you need anything, please reach out. Please reach out. So the last song we'll play, and then we'll get going. Unless anyone else has anything they want to say.
I'm good.
Anything from the crochet camp?
You want to say anything? You got anything you want to say, bro?
Well, I do want to say that the song y'all were listening to was actually a pretty good song. I actually liked
thank
it.
you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, that's a great segue into the conversation. If you like the music that you hear on our show, you can always tune into WeP3 Radio and go and find All of those songs are on there, and also our YouTube channel. The more people we get into the YouTube channel, the better it is for us and you. And hopefully we get down into a spot where the monetization takes place, and then we can start making things better, because it does take money to make some of this stuff better. And I'd rather help vets than to fix a YouTube channel. I'll tell you that right now. But we're mission forward, and that's what we believe in. And so we're there. So the last song we're going to play is from a dear friend of ours, Mr. Chris Turner. All in the same boat. We are all in the same storm, in my opinion. We're all in the same storm. And if we're going to do this by ourselves, it's going to be a tough ride. But if we can all get in the same boat, we'll all work better together. Check us out next week. Yeah, we got your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. I suppose we got to get set up for a debrief again tomorrow already, which is going to be a lot like what today was, but some people tune into that as well, so we'll do that piece. And I'm excited. At one point during Adam Bird's, he does not a debrief, he does a weekly update. He asked, what are you focused on? What are you excited for about 2003? And the reason that it spurred a conversation between me and him was I literally texted him and said, I'm afraid we have outgrown our capacity, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to help as many and all the people as we need to. And so what that spurred was another conversation to get our nose to the ground and start working. And that's what we're going to do. 2023, we are going to be the
Truck It On.
And now we got Adam Bird with All in the Same Boat.
Chris Turner.
I said Adam Bird. Chris Turner. Thank you for that. Blah, blah, blah. I give one of those.
Sometimes it's a daily grind. It's almost enough to make you lose your mind. Just when you get a good grip, it slips right through your fingers. Finally find a little honey, then you're pulling out the stingers. Woo-hoo! We work hard to make $1 just to keep our head above water. One day we're soaking up the sun, sailing in the breeze, drinking margaritas and kicking up our feet. Then we start thinking we're sinking, we can't plug all the holes, running around in circles trying to keep our world afloat. Ain't we all in the same boat?
Yeah, you know I'm in the same boat with you, bro. Go on, slide me a paddle, let me get downstream. I said, Lord have mercy, got us feeling like a chump. Now we're dumping all our dollars while we're crying at the pump. Clear across the nation, it's as crazy as can be. But my kinfolk know how to cope down here in Tennessee. Yeah, we're still honking, getting cold ones by the case. Ain't no inflation gonna change the way this country boy was raised. So we're still soaking up the sun, sailing in the breeze, drinking margaritas and kicking up our feet. Then we start thinking we're sinking, we can't plug all the holes, running around in circles trying to keep our world afloat. Ain't we all in the same boat? Oh, come on now. Help. We all need a little help. Love. When that water gets rough. Days. When those clouds get dark and gloomy, we're just trying to keep it all between the buoys. Oh, look out now. Here we go. Yeah, we're soaking up the sun, sailing in the breeze, sipping margaritas, ain't worried about a thing. And we start thinking we're sinking, we can't plug all the holes, same boat. That's right. We in the same boat here, baby. Let me get a full tank on pump number 1. We about to take this thing all the